I am continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. So now we continue with Mosiah. We are reading the story of Zeniff. In the last chapter we read about him coming into the land south, being given the land of Lehi, Nephi, and Shilom, and there, after 12 years, getting into wars with the Lamanites as the Lamanites tried to bring them into bondage. So here's chapter 10. King Laman dies. His people are wild and ferocious and believe in false traditions. Zeniff and his people prevail against them. And it came to pass that we again began to establish the kingdom, and we again began to possess the land in peace. And I caused that there should be weapons of war made of every kind, that thereby I might have weapons for my people, against the time that the Lamanites should come up again to war against my people. And I set guards round about the land, that the Lamanites might not come upon us again unawares, and destroy us. And thus I did guard my people and my flocks, and keep them from falling into the hands of our enemies. And it came to pass that we did inherit the land of our fathers for many years, yea, for the space of 22 years. And I did cause that the men should till the ground, and raise all manner of grain, and all manner of fruit of every kind. And I did cause that the women should spin, and toil, and work all manner of fine linen, yea, and cloth of every kind, that we might clothe our nakedness. And thus we did prosper in the land. Thus we did have continual peace in the land for the space of 22 years. And it came to pass that King Laman died, and his son began to reign in his stead, and he began to stir his people up in rebellion against my people. Therefore they began to prepare for war, and to come up to battle against my people. But I had sent my spies out round about the land of Shemlon, that I might discover their preparations, that I might guard against them, that they might not come upon my people and destroy them. And it came to pass that they came up upon the north of the land of Shilom with their numerous hosts, men armed with bows and with arrows and with swords and with scimitars and with stones and with slings. And they had their heads shaved, that they were naked, and they were girded with a leathern girdle about their loins. And it came to pass that I caused that the women and children of my people should be hid in the wilderness. And I also caused that all my old men that could bear arms, and all my young men that were able to bear arms, should gather themselves together to go to battle against the Lamanites. And I did place them in their ranks, every man according to his age. And it came to pass that we did go up to battle against the Lamanites. And I, even I in my old age, did go up to battle against the Lamanites. And it came to pass that we did go up to in the strength of the Lord to battle. Now the Lamanites knew nothing concerning the Lord, nor the strength of the Lord. Therefore they depended upon their own strength. Yet they were a strong people, as to the strength of men. They were a wild and ferocious and a bloodthirsty people, believing in the tradition of their fathers, which is this, believing that they were driven out of the land of Jerusalem because of the iniquities of their fathers, and that they were wronged in the wilderness by their brethren, and they were also wronged while crossing the sea. And again, that they were wronged while in the land of their first inheritance, after they had crossed the sea. And all this because that Nephi was more faithful in keeping the commandments of the Lord. Therefore he was favored of the Lord, for the Lord heard his prayers and answered them, and he took the lead of their journey in the wilderness. And his brethren were wroth with him, because they understood not the dealings of the Lord. They were also wroth with him upon the waters, because they hardened their hearts against the Lord. And again they were wroth with him when they had arrived in the promised land, because they said that he had taken the ruling of the people out of their hands, and they sought to kill him. And again they were wroth with him, because he departed into the wilderness as the Lord had commanded him, and took the records which were engraven on the plates of brass, for they said that he robbed them. And thus they had taught their children that they should hate them, and that they should murder them, and that they should rob and plunder them, and do all they could to destroy them. Therefore they have an eternal hatred toward the children of Nephi. For this very cause has King Laman, by his cunning and lying craftiness and his fair promises, deceived me, that I have brought this my people up into this land, that they may destroy them. Yea, and we have suffered these many years in the land. And now I, Zeniff, after having told all these things unto my people concerning the Lamanites, I did stimulate them to go to battle with their might, putting their trust in the Lord. Therefore we did contend with them face to face, and it came to pass that we did drive them again out of our land. And we slew them with a great slaughter, even so many that we did not number them. And it came to pass that we returned again to our own land, and my people again began to tend their flocks and to till their ground. And now I, being old, did confer the kingdom upon one of my sons. Therefore I say no more. And may the Lord bless my people. Amen. The king of the Lamanites dies, and the Lamanites, the new king, brings the Lamanites as a new army against Zeniff, but he's prepared. The first time they attacked, they weren't prepared for war. They thought they had a peace treaty. This time, he's prepared. Everybody's armed. They've got the scouts out. He's even sending spies out to see what the Lamanites are doing. And then we get this wonderful description of the false doctrine of the Lamanites and how they have distorted their history. They defeat the Lamanites in battle once again. Zeniff in this chapter talks about how old he is. Now, there is one thing here. In the footnotes, this is a 1981 edition, it lists the year that things happened. Sometimes it's just an estimate. For instance, when they left Zarahemla, it says in the footnotes that this is about the year 200 BC. And then 12 years later would be 188, 13 years later would be 187 BC. But I find this interesting that it says, when it says here, for the space, and it came to pass that we did inherit the land of our fathers for many years, yea, for the space of 22 years. And they say that is about 178, meaning 22 years after they come out of Zarahemla. But the way it's written, I'm not sure that's accurate. It seems to me that the 22 years are the 22 years after that initial conflict. It says here, thus we did have continual peace in the land for the space of 22 years. It's not continual peace if you have a big war going on in which several hundred of your people are killed. So it seems to me that if they left in the year 200, that war would be in the year 187, and then 22 years later, which would be in the year 165, not in the year 178. Now the next date here, says when he says that I did confer the kingdom upon my son, it says in the footnotes probably about the year 160. That could very well be 5 years after that second war. He confers the kingdom on his son Noah. He says when he goes into this, when they go into this second war here, he says he's old. He's getting old. They fight the war. A couple of years later, he confers the kingdom onto Noah. That seems to be more accurate to what the text is saying. But I could be wrong. We are going to return to Omni next, finish it out, and then we will return again to Mosiah. So we will see you there.